And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special edition of the Best Damn Podcast. I'm joined by Casey Ray, the host of the Notorious Escapades podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. We had a little bit of an issue trying to get her on, but, we got that settled. She's not used to StreamYard. I'm sure whenever I do, interviews, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. First of all, congratulations on making the nomination voting list. You got on there with us. What I've been trying to do is I've been trying to reach out because I want to do interviews with other podcasts in the area for a while. And I wanted to reach out and get in touch with people and say, hey, what's your show about? We're not one of those podcasts that thinks we're all high and mighty, like we're above everybody. No. We want to be friends. We're strictly neutral. So congratulations on that. How do you feel about that, getting on that nomination list?
I don't know how we got on that list, so I don't know who nominated us, but yeah, I'm excited. It's actually, we've only been doing this like 9 months, so
wow, you got on there that fast.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird because a lot of our followers are like my coworkers, families, and friends, So, but yeah, it's just cool, and obviously you were able to find us on there, and I looked at the list, and there's some really good competition on there.
There's a lot of good competition.
Yeah, and I don't even care if we win. Just being nominated, it's just, to me, and I know like you hear celebrities say that, it's a huge honor. So
Right. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now. The list has actually grown greatly since. And I think the voting ends tonight at midnight, or tomorrow at midnight, I believe. So,
oh wow,
there is Best Damn Podcast, my show on top, the AMA Backlog, and Front Row. We've reached out to them. And by the way, for everybody wondering, if you're hearing an echo, it's because she's on her phone. She's using her iPhone, so that's why you might hear a little bit of an echo, but we'll make do with it. So you got Front Row Classics, reading books together. I've never heard of that one.
Mm-mm.
And of course, you got your show, Notorious Escapades. Congratulations. Hopefully, you get to the final nominations. State Week, and then you got a couple new ones that have been added. I think you're gonna like this. House Call with Dr. Sean McCaffrey. Front Row Network. I've never heard of that one.
Oh man, that's a huge list now.
It's gotten big. Gray 17, a Babylon 5 podcast. Again, I've never heard of that. There's a couple of these that are on here twice, like Up at Night and Up at Night podcasts. Then you got Morning Ninjas and Morning Ninjas. Wake and Bake. I know the host of that show, Steve Stanton. Yeah, it's definitely grown.
Oh my
Definitely
God.
grown. And I've reached out to all these guys. I've got Opa Ghost on board. K-Pop Kimchi, they decided that they were too busy, so they declined the offer. But I've reached out to like almost all these guys, trying to hey, come on, let's have a little talk and all that stuff. So
yeah, let's all be friends,
Yeah, I mean, we're all just in the same area. It's no big deal. So, what is your show, Notorious Escapades, about?
So it's a little bit of everything. Initially, we were going to do local missing people cases, but my co-host got a little nervous about that. If we start talking about something and there was like a suspect in the area. So then I was like, well, let's do true crime. So we started doing true crime, and then we do like pop culture or events. We've actually had a few local business people on, and I've had some people from TikTok that I reach out to. I had like a New York Times bestselling author on. We talked about Amanda Knox. So it's just a little bit of everything. We talk Taylor Swift a lot because me and my host are huge Taylor Swift fans.
Swifties!
Yep. Yep, we're really big Swifties. And it's kind of funny because I've known my co-host since high school, since like the mid 90s. So we weren't really friends. Like, we were friends on social media. We'd say hi, catch up every now and then. But then when she found out I was a big Swiftie, she's like, hey, let's try to get tickets. So a year ago, we got tickets, and then we just started building a friendship. And then I was like, well, I think we should do a podcast.
Nice.
So I had to talk her into it for like 2 months.
So you had to literally convince her, dude, it'll be good. Come on, it'll be worth it.
But the true crime gets to be a lot for her. So, like, we have to kind of mix it up. So it kind of looks like our list is like someone with ADD, but it's literally something for everybody. You know, if you don't like this topic, hey, you can go to this topic. And, you know, I've been able to network a lot with people through the podcast. I met some amazing people. Some of my coworkers have been on the podcast and they enjoy it. So yeah, it's just a little bit of everything.
So you started out originally as like a missing persons, like true crime mystery podcast, and now it's evolved into what it is now.
Yep.
Do you cover any of your stuff that happens here in Central Illinois?
We have not. We've just had like a couple local business people on. We haven't covered anything, you know.
What's some of the local business people you've had on?
So I had Healing with Bethany. She does like Reiki. She does like tarot cards. She does like yoga. I had her on. I had Mike on from Indigo. And then I had Michael Smith, who does the Fired Up Jellies and Jams. I had him on. He's going to come back on. And I've reached out to other local places if they want to come on. So.
Oh, cool. Well, we got April, who is our co-host. She's kind of the person who finances the show.
Oh.
She is big into that mystery stuff. Like, she is huge into that mystery stuff, missing person, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you could get her on.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm a true crime junkie. Like, I get really into it. Like, the Scott Peterson episode is like our number one episode, and he's got some documentaries out on that. We've covered Manson, Ted Bundy, Kemper, Amanda Knox. Alec Baldwin. I guess that's not really. Well, kind of. You know, I was actually gonna take notes about that trial, and we were gonna do a part 2, and then of course it got dismissed, so then we had to. But
yeah, that whole case was just bizarre, and we still don't know like what exactly happened there, because it's like so from what I gather, and correct me if I'm wrong because you've covered the whole case, they went out the night before and was firing some of the guns. This is what I'd heard. And then one of the bullets was left in the revolver, and the next day they went on set and he fired that revolver, and that's what struck the director and the cinematographer, correct?
Yeah, and they don't know we still don't really know how they got on there to set, to be honest. It's still like a mystery.
And it's just crazy how that happened. Absolutely crazy. And I mean, he got obviously, I'm ex-military, so I was always told when you're holding a gun, like let's say that's the gun there, your finger goes over the trigger well. You only put it over the trigger if you're going to shoot. I do that with every gun I handle. If I'm going to shoot, then I'm going to point it and put my foot on the trigger well. But I don't know. You never screw around with that thing because you never know.
That's what my co-host kept saying. She's like, but I think because he'd been doing it for so many years, I think he trusted this person. And obviously the armorer on set, that was her second movie. And it's just, so, and we're going to cover Matthew Perry coming up too, because, you know, we've got some developments on that.
The new Matthew Perry evidence that came out, that is true. Now, Matthew Perry, he played who on Friends?
Chandler,
that's right. I'm sorry, I wasn't a big Friends viewer in the 90s. You could tell. You always tell, like, oh, he watched Friends, and you look at this person like being like, oh, he's one of them, you know? But the evidence that came out about him, that is bizarre.
Yeah, it was sad that he started using again. I mean, I know he said he used that ketamine a little bit for therapy, but for his assistant, it's so bizarre just to like shoot him up and leave, and it's so sad.
And they've arrested, who did they now say arrested somebody the other day. I think
A doctor, his assistant.
they arrested the doctor because they're charging them with, they're opening now as a murder case, I think is what I heard, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What?
I know.
It's almost like, I mean, Michael Jackson, I'm not a big fan of Michael Jackson, but
Oh yeah, same.
it's almost mirroring it, you know?
Yeah, it's just wild. That's the cool thing about the podcast is like you get to kind of delve into stuff and we always ask people like, what they want us to cover. So we try to cover stuff that me and Lex obviously we have to agree on what we're going to cover. Obviously we stay away from politics if we can.
Mm-hmm.
That's just too sensitive and I don't want to
yeah,
turn
politics
people off.
has become a huge mess. I hate both of them, and I just did an episode a while back where I dressed up as Donald Trump, and apparently, according to one podcast, it was the worst Trump impersonation I ever heard. But that's the point. That was the point. Thank you for the compliment on that.
Wow,
yeah.
You're getting some. I don't know. Is it some just roasting from other podcasts?
It's a podcast. It's a podcast that professionally roasts other podcasts, which I couldn't do. But they roasted us pretty good on their show, and I'm just like, well, thanks for the celebrity status and the insults. So, what else can I say?
So, we haven't had that yet.
Well, I know there's a couple podcasts that have had that. One podcast, Ray Lyle's Morning Disaster, that I'm also associated with. I've worked with them before. They got roasted badly, and I felt bad for them. So,
aww.
I don't agree with the whole, like, look, if a podcast is doing their own thing, let them do their own thing, I mean, I'm not going to come in there and say the horrible things that were said, but oh well, it's just me. I'm also laid back.
Yeah, we try to be about the positivity. I mean, like we support, there's a lot of podcasts that follow us and that I've met along the way that are big fans of us and that will give us shout outs and we'll kind of help each other out. Like I would never like roast anybody. Everybody's taking the time out to do this and they're putting their love and support into it. I'm never going to knock. I just have the option. Hey, I don't have to listen. I don't have to. But I'm not going to knock anybody for doing this because it's harder than people think it is,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes, it is. So with Halloween coming up, spooky season, and the only reason I don't like spooky season because it gets cold. I hate the cold. If it was 90 degrees, I'd be okay. I'm all with it. Yeah, but no. With Halloween coming up, are there any certain things you guys are going to cover on your podcast, Sue?
So I think we're going to wrap season 1 around that time. So I'm seeing Taylor Swift like the weekend of Halloween. So like we won't do anything because we're going to be like, it's going to be a long day. I don't know what we're going to do because my co-host, she doesn't like the Michael Myers movies and she gets terrified of that stuff. So she's like, you'll have to have someone else come on and talk about Michael Myers and stuff, because that's one of my favorites. I love Halloween. So I don't know, or we might do, have you heard about the trend on TikTok about vampires being in Chicago? Like legit vampires?
No, never heard this.
Oh yeah. A lady went on TikTok and around the Chicago area and she claims that she picked up 4 vampires on New Year's Eve. She Ubered it, to their car, but she claims they were legit vampires. And she's serious.
Really?
Yeah, she's serious. Like I was waiting for her to like just smile and she just described them and just said the one touched her and it felt like warm honey and just like I don't know. A lot of people said they were probably goth kids or goth people, but she thinks that they're vampires. So other people started saying, oh, well, like they came from New Orleans and yeah, so
I say we have a listener from New Orleans. Skeletor, do you know these people? Vampire. I think I might have found a video. Let me bring this up. I want to see what this is because I'm obviously into the paranormal too. Is this the video?
Yes, that's her.
All right.
Another vampire.
Hang on, no. I want to know what this is about. Let's see.
You'll love it.
talking about her encounter with vampires, so I may as well talk about mine. This New Year's Eve, I was driving Lyft and I picked up an order, and it ended up being at like a a place that used to be a church, but it wasn't a church anymore. Obviously, if you saw the festivities that was going on, there were like people with cloaks and like dark hair and heavy eyeliner, and there was like a red glow from the building coming out. Four guys got into my car. As soon as they got into the car, I felt a chill. And yes, it was winter, but it was a different kind of chill. I turned around and looked at them, and I immediately knew they were vampires. And it wasn't even just like a thought, it was more so a knowing. Before they got into the car, I was thinking like maybe they were devil worshippers because I had seen like a goat head and like the typical symbols that you see.
Sorry, if I'm an Uber driver and I see a go ahead, no, pass. I'm done. I'm done. But I got to hear more about this. Now I'm interested.
With associated with it. But I was like, no, these are vampires. There were two brunettes and two blondes. They all had blue eyes. Not that that mean anything, but their eyes were almost hypnotically blue. They were so clear, you could see through their like not their soul, but I can't even describe it. Their skin was white, but not white like crayon white, but it was very pale, but it was not a pale like some like white people are like, "Oh, I'm so pale." Even like red, people with red hair,
I'm
how
gonna
pale.
guess
It
she's
was
trying to say
it was
like
still a
corpse
different
white
kind
or
of pale
something.
because even regular people when they're pale, there's still some warmness to their skin. Like their skin looked cold. I don't know how to describe it, but it was more so the feeling of me knowing. Immediately, I start to panic. My heart is racing. I'm feeling like, is it too late to reject the call? Like, can I even ask them to leave the vehicle? And then I started thinking, okay, if I am panicking and my blood pressure is rising, then I'm like pushing more blood through my veins, which may mean that I may seem more appetizing to them. This is all stuff that's going through my mind. The man behind me, the blind who was like in the middle, touches my shoulder, and immediately it's like somebody poured warm honey over me. Like that is the calm just spreading down my body. It was like immediately I felt relaxed, almost like I was in a trance kind of there, but like watching myself. I can't even really describe it. And I knew at that moment that I wasn't necessarily in danger. So then the guy is like, well, our car is only a few blocks away, which I could tell from looking at the app. And he's like, but before we get there, we need you to answer a question. And you have to think very carefully about this. So now I'm like, okay, this answer is going to determine if I go home to my children or not. And it could just be my imagination and like me jumping the gun, and he could have been joking, but it didn't feel jokey. So he's like, okay, well, we have two separate cars. How would you group us together? Who should ride with who? What? So I'm like, I look back at them and they're smiling and they're kind of giggling. Now their teeth don't look like regular teeth, but they don't look like the typical vampire teeth either. But they definitely did not look like human teeth. Their canines were a little bit more pronounced, but not in a dramatic fake way. I can't even freaking describe it. And actually, if I had to describe them to sketch them out right now, I couldn't even, because it's like they're a memory, but not like a typical memory, like a memory behind a memory. I can't describe it. But anyways,
Okay.
I knew it. I'm like, you're vampires. Yes. I heard the answer in my head. No, I'm looking at them through because I'm like, if they lunge for jugular, I'm gonna crush us all. But
Well, they're actually vegan vampires. That's what it turns out to be.
I grouped the opposite hair colors together, and the guy said, "Well, why'd you do that?" I said, "I don't know. It just felt right." He said, "Excellent choice." He took out his phone and he's like, "I'm gonna start my car now." And I'm like, "You can start your car from my car?" And he's like, "Yeah, but we like you. You'll get home safe. Good. Like, you'll get home safe tonight. Have a good night. And I was like, yeah, I was kind of thinking that, doing Lyft on New Year's Eve could be dangerous because, like, who knows what kind. I was trying to make it seem like I didn't think they were the danger, but just let them know, like, in case they heard me panicking. The one and saw the vampire. But anyways, they got out and they gave me my biggest tip of the night. You would think that would have been my last ride for the night, but no, I kept going. I made it home, and I didn't tell any other person about this story because, like, are you supposed to share vampire stories? I don't know. However, I just did. So just know that there are other beings in this world besides us, and maybe they're not all so dangerous.
That is so weird of a story.
So yeah, I'm invested in vampire talk.
Yeah, I mean that's something you hear everybody talk about Bigfoot or aliens or what's the other one, Skinwalker. You rarely hear about a vampire nowadays, and it's such a weird story. Like how she described him. Like I'm picturing at first like she jumped to conclusions because it's somebody who's all it's four guys who probably just came out of like some weird goth party or something like that. But how she's describing him is really bizarre.
She's serious.
So this is a response to another story going on in Chicago?
She started it, and then other people came forward and said, "Oh, well, I've seen it," and it's like, I don't know why they would take an Uber. Can't they fly? But I don't know.
Yeah, you figure like from all vampires can turn to a bat, turn to a wolf, turn to a mist, depending on which book you read about Bram Stoker's Dracula. But it's so weird the way she describes. Like she describes pulling up and seeing like a red glow and seeing like a goat's head. I'm like, no, I'm done. No, I'm going. I'm done with the ghost head. I don't know where this goes. I'm from the cornfield. When you see a severed goat's head, somebody's on meth and somebody's screwed up.
I second that. Yep.
Yeah. That's just so weird. I mean, we live in this day and age where it's like we've heard these myths for so long, like werewolves and vampires. And I have seen stuff. I used to be a ghost hunter. My ghost hunter group's kind of on like a hiatus.
Oh.
But I have seen some stuff. I can't even explain myself either.
Wow.
Like it is when you experience this stuff, like you hear everybody say, "Oh, well, I saw a ghost." What did it look like? Floating sheet. Oh, that's nothing. But then when you see it, and you're like, "That's exactly how they fucking described it." What in the hell? It blows your mind about what you experience, and your mind jumps to the conclusion ghost. So
I hope vampires aren't real.
Dude, if the vampires aren't real, they gotta be careful because some of those people up in Chicago, the drugs they're on. Ooh! Oh, Vlad. That person had a little too much cocaine. I want to go paint the building right now with some white paint. Sit down, you stone off that guy. Get down. Vampires in Chicago. That's bizarre. So, what's another thing you're looking forward to with the Halloween season?
I'm not really sure. Because this will be our first Halloween. We did a Christmas episode. That was fun. So I think we're going to do that again. Probably bring the same person on, and we'll pick different Christmas movies this time. So that was fun. So
Brent, who's watched our show quite frequently, says be careful of the Fritos. So your Christmas episode, obviously Christmas is like 4 months away. What'd that entice?
I don't know. We were like, hey, let's do a Christmas episode, and we were gonna do like movies. So I asked one of my coworkers, I said, why don't you pick a movie? Tell us about it. I'll do a movie. Lex did a movie. So we did Lex did Die Hard, which I don't consider
Oh, no. That's a Christmas movie. Get out of here. That's a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon 1's a Christmas movie. Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
That was the first time I saw Die Hard, was for the podcast. I know. I did Love Actually, and then our guest, C-Boss, he did Elf.
Ah, okay. And then what did you do?
I did Love Actually.
What's Love Actually?
It's got like Hugh Grant in it.
Oh.
Liam Neeson. It's like a feel good. So I don't know what we'll pick this year. Probably have to do Die Hard 2, I guess, because I think that's a Christmas movie too.
I can't remember if Die Hard 2 is a Christmas film. I'm not sure if it is.
I think it is. I know there's like a million of them.
There's like 6 of them. Okay, yeah, the action in Die Hard 2 takes place on Christmas Eve. So yeah, I guess it would be considered a Christmas movie.
Yeah, so we just like to have fun. I don't know. Lex talked about us watching the John Wick movies. I've never seen them. She's really big into the John Wick movies.
You need to watch those movies. They're great.
She's like, you don't like Keanu Reeves? I'm like, I didn't say that. I'm not really big into like action movies like that. But yeah, she wants me to watch all of them.
So what kind of movies are you into then?
Chick flicks, comedies.
Oh. Comedies.
I like some action. Like I like the Batman movies, like Deadpool. Like I'll watch that kind of stuff.
Have you seen the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie?
I have not.
Oh my God, you need to go see this movie.
Yeah, I love it.
I have seen it twice and it is perfect. It is probably one of the best comedies I've seen in a long time, and the best comic book movie.
Okay.
It's definitely very good. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are at peak with this film.
Yeah, I want to see that new Lady Gaga, the Joker movie coming out. I want to see that.
That one I'm not too sure about because the first one was so good. And they're saying this one's got like a musical. It's like a musical thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, I'm hesitant, but I want to see how it plays out first.
Well, I like Lady Gaga, so usually anything she's in, I really like. And so.
Back in the day, Lady Gaga, everybody was like, oh, Lady Gaga's in this movie. Oh, not her. Not going to lie, she has become a good actress and a good singer.
Yeah.
She's like one of those people who made the transition from musician, from one career to acting, and she did it so well. It's like, I got to give it to her, you know?
Yeah. She was really good in House of Gucci. I really like that. And then The Star is Born, I thought that was really good too.
Yep. I haven't seen House of Gucci, but the Star Wars one I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, you guys see House of Gucci. It's really good.
Is it a romantic comedy?
No, it's actually like a true crime case based on that the lady had her husband killed, that her family or his family owned Gucci, and she had him killed, and then she did some years in prison. She came out, and yeah.
Okay, so that's what that's about. So what's some other movies that you've seen this summer that you've enjoyed?
I just saw it yesterday. It Ends With Us. I didn't realize it was such a heavy. I thought it was like it'd be a fun chick flick, and then it was like, oh my god, this is like really, really heavy.
Yeah, I've heard it's heavy as heck.
Oh, it's heavy. So that's the only one I've seen. I want to see Twisters though, because I keep hearing that's good, and I like Glenn Powell. So
my fiance has seen Twisters, and she says it's not as good as the first one, but it is as good. If that makes sense. I don't know how it makes sense, honestly.
Does she like Glenn Powell? Does she think he's hot?
I don't know. I hope she don't think she's hot. He's hot shit.
My coworker said he saw it 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
He said it was really good. He said Twister is like his favorite all-time movie.
We got a guy on the show. He watched Twister, and now every time a powerful storm rolls through, he gets in his truck and he chases it.
What?
He will literally chase Jason Wilhite. He literally, whenever a storm comes through the area, like we had that, what was it, the derecho?
Yeah.
Or some, I call it a tornado. That's all it was to me. He chased that. He literally got in his truck and he chased it. And I'm like, you're up near Decatur and you're still chasing this thing? Why?
I guess they're cool to chase.
He likes chasing it, you know? So the day he shows up with a 94 Dodge in red, I'm going to be like, okay, we got to have a talk here, dude. You're taking this storm chasing stuff way too serious.
Well, if he starts looking like Glenn Powell with the cowboy hat and
Brett's like, what's wrong with that? I'm from Oklahoma. That's normal.
Hi, Brett.
So okay. Your co-host Lex. What kind of movies? You said she's not into the big horror films or stuff like that.
No, for some reason they scare her, but she likes like the action movies. I think she likes some chick flicks. She likes some older movies too. Mainly what she watches, and hopefully she doesn't mind me calling her out. So we're big fans of the TV show Supernatural. So she literally watches that on repeat if she's not watching Taylor Swift stuff. She's literally, and we covered actually that show on my podcast. She'll just rewatch Supernatural pretty much.
Yeah, I need to get my fiance in here because she's so happy she got the entire Supernatural series on like DVD or something like that, and I'm just like, I grew up in the '90s. I grew up with X-Files, so I'm just like, okay. At least I got a nice car.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I was born in '81, so I remember X-Files, but there's just something about the Winchesters. I don't. Of course, I'm a big Jared Padalecki fan, so you know.
What wasn't he? He's the one who took the car, didn't he? At the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want that. I just want that car. That's all I care about.
Oh, I know. That's a nice show.
It is.
But yeah.
So she's not like a big horror fan.
Mm-mm. She gets terrified. I was trying to convince her the Michael Myers thing was real, that really did happen here in Illinois, and we were trying to.
No wonder she's terrified.
I don't know if she'll mind me telling this story, but when she was little, well, I don't know, maybe she was like, I don't know, maybe like 11 or 12. Her and her cousin watched, what was that, Dr. Giggles? I've never seen it because it looks stupid, but like they watched Dr. Giggles, and then she went to bed, and like her cousin was making noises, like it scared her. So she keeps saying, you need to watch Dr. Giggles. I'm like, I do not want to watch this. This looks stupid to me. But I wish I could get her into like the Scream movies, because like the Scream franchise is like one of my favorites, and then the Michael Myers, and then the Saw. Yeah,
the Saw wasn't. Michael Myers was kind of loosely based upon John Wayne Gacy, but it was inspired by it. No, yeah. I'm thinking Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the serial killer from Wisconsin. What was his name?
Dahmer.
Was it Dahmer? No, it was
a
before
Midwest
Dahmer.
Guy.
Yeah, most of the serial killers are unfortunately from the Midwest. There's something in the water. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like because a few I've covered, and then like one of our guests, Joe, he likes to cover the cults and stuff. Like we had him on for Gacy, then I had him on for Jim Jones, and he's like, another Midwest guy. He goes, what is it with you Midwest people?
Something, the corn makes you go crazy. Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Dahmer series on Netflix? Obviously, I'm sure you have.
So I tried. I couldn't. People eating people. I just will never cover that on the
Yeah.
It literally grossed me out, and I can't with Dahmer. The
whole series, seeing him commit the crimes, I didn't want to see. That was disgusting, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But the guy that got to play Dahmer did a fantastic job. I will say that right now, because you watch old interviews with Dahmer, that's pretty much identical. But it's afterwards when they flash forward to where he gets arrested and they're doing the trial and they're uncovering the evidence. That's the part where I'm like, now I'm really sold on this. But everything prior, like showing how he got into it, it's just like, we don't really need to know how he got into it.
And the neighbors complaining. I don't even know how they managed to live there, because that's not bad meat.
That whole scene with the neighbors complaining, and when they find that barrel with the remains, I'm ex-military, and I'm a big horror fan and all that stuff, and even I'm just like, dude, I really don't want to see this stuff. That's just crazy.
So what's your favorite franchise for horror?
My favorite, well, I'm more of a sci-fi guy. I like
Okay.
science fiction. So
Okay.
in the 90s, I didn't have cable. My
Yeah.
family was poor. We didn't have cable, so we grew up with like 3 channels, 4 if you had a really good thunderstorm.
Yep.
The morning after you had Fox 55, you had NBC, and then you had PBS. And like I said, if you had a really good thunderstorm that just shook the house, knocked out the power, every once in a while you get St. Louis 11.
Yep.
So we rented a lot of movies. My father got me into the Star Treks, the Star Wars. I got into Godzilla, which I like that science fiction kind of horror. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
creepy. It's a dude in a costume, but it's that creepy. Hello, Adam. It's that the ones that are really good for me. The ones that really spooked me as a kid was the films from the 80s.
Yeah. What was that? Oh, what was that show from like the 70s, 80s? It was like in black and white.
Dark Shadows.
No, it was like they did different stories each time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about too. Damn. There's Tales from the Crypt. There's a couple others I can't think of them, but the films of the 80s, like John Carpenter's The Thing, that will always be my all-time favorite horror film.
Okay. Okay.
Because when you look at that film, yeah, it's about an alien that shapeshifts, and all of a sudden this guy's head's walking down the hallway. That's not the thing that scares you the most. The thing that scares you the most is how well do you actually know people? Do you know this person enough to where you know them to a T, to where you're like, well, Ron here is not an alien. Do you know Ron? That's the kind of fear that got me.
Okay.
What about you? Obviously, you've mentioned the Scream movies, Halloween. Any other horror films you're a big fan of?
I need to get into like the Conjuring ones because I hear those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Let's see. Look up Death Highway from Desert Storm. Worst thing I've ever seen. You look at the photos, you will see why much. Yeah, I know what the Death Highway is. Yeah, it's war photos from Desert Storm. What is the one horror film that you've seen and your co-host Lex has seen where you're like, why is everyone afraid of this? Why is everyone terrified?
That I couldn't say on that one. I know what we're scared of clowns, so the movie It kind of. I saw that movie when I was like 6 or 7 at a cousin's sleepover, and ever since then I don't mess with clowns. And then you got Gacy, then you got the ones on Supernatural. Like we're both terrified of clowns.
It's funny because it's the film that I watch, and I'm like, why is everyone terrified of this film?
Ugh, it's just
the newer one is okay, but I'm watching that film. Now, keep in mind, I was also drunk as hell when I watched the original, and I was laughing my ass off at Tim Curry just doing whatever he could to be a clown. And I'm like, why is everyone terrified of this film? Why? I think it's funny. Okay, he's a clown that eats people. A good shovel across his big old head would help, And then I'm watching the new one years later. They do that. I'm like, oh, that doesn't really work too well. Oh.
Yeah, Stephen King. I would say probably my favorite one would be like Silver Bullet with the kid in the wheelchair, and was it the priest that was like a werewolf or whatever?
I think you're right. I think it was.
That was good. Oh, that actor, the one that's kind of weird. I can't think of his name.
There's a couple actors that are kind of weird if you watch them.
Oh, he was like on The Celebrity Apprentice, and he's like always just been very weird. But he's in that.
What's the movie called again? I forget.
Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet. Yeah. American Werewolf was really good. I love that film. What is his name? Gary Busey.
Yes, Gary.
It just came up. Gary Busey's always been a weird guy. He looks like a werewolf.
He was good in it though. But yeah.
Yeah, he was. American Werewolf for me, I think, was probably another good horror film I liked. just because of special effects and how well they did that. Like when you see that first transformation, you're like, at first you're used to just the slow motion makeup coming on, or the guy stops and turns around and he's a werewolf. No, this was like, holy shit, he turned into a fucking werewolf. That's part of the casting call. You know it was.
I started to kind of get into the Jason movies a little bit, which, of course, for 80s, they're basically like soft porn. But, I mean,
You're not wrong, no.
So I've started to kind of get into those. I'm not really into Freddy Krueger. I never was. I was never into Chucky. So yeah, just Michael Myers. He's just it, He'd be the easiest one to survive, though. You just know when to stay away from him.
I think the easiest one to survive. First of all, if Freddy Krueger was in my dreams, he's fucked up because my dreams go out there, and he's gonna be like, no, I ain't going in there. That guy came at me with a laser gun. No, but Jason, I don't know. There was always something about I didn't get into Chucky either. Chucky for me was just like, it's a doll, just you hear little footsteps swing it wherever you heard those footsteps. But Jason for me was the one. It's like it went from a mother who went crazy,
yep,
to the son who went crazy, to now all of a sudden he's this Frankenstein zombie-like creature that kills people. And like, it's so weird. Like him and Michael Myers, like my buddy Tim, who's a big horror fan, I'm sure he'd be good for your show for sure. But he called me up the night the new Halloween dropped, the last one. He was pissed off how they ended it. He was like, I can't believe they threw him through a machine like that and killed it. That was horrible. And I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. Thanks for spoiling it all for me.
Well, I didn't get adding that Corey guy. I know that they were trying to correlate that to him being the new Michael and stuff, but it was just weird. It was just like, he wasn't strong enough, and I don't know how he didn't fight those kids when he had the knife. The whole thing was just bizarre. And Michael living down in that sewer and just, it was just weird.
Yeah, why is it they can't, of all the horror people that have had the most films recently, obviously it's Michael Myers, but they can't get him right.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you got Alien Romulus, which is a fantastic, I love that film. That film actually scared the fuck out of me too. It took them 3 Alien films to get a good Alien film. They got that right. Maybe they just need the right people.
Yeah, I mean, Michael's done. Unless miraculously he, survives, yeah. But I doubt it.
I don't know how they survived that. Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis is probably ready to be done.
Yeah, I think the only way they can do it, I think, is if they rebooted Halloween, which they've rebooted it twice. Rob Zombie's original one, the first one he did was decent. I liked it. But then when that second one came around, I'm like, no. You lost it on that one.
I haven't seen those ones, and I haven't seen the Season of the Witch because I heard that didn't really have much to do with Michael Myers.
No, see, originally Halloween was supposed to be like short. It was supposed to be horror films.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to feature Michael Myers. It was supposed to be like Tales of the Crypt, but with a film version. And it was always going to focus around Halloween. So they did, because the original story of Halloween with Michael Myers took up like 6 hours of film, they cut it into 2 films, and then they did Season of the Witch, was supposed to be something different, but that bombed so badly they decided, okay, we'll bring back Michael Myers because that's what made the most money.
Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, although I think this whole cab driving vampires around Chicago might make a good Halloween movie.
Yeah, Vampires in Chicago. We joked on the podcast. That would have been a good podcast name, Vampires in Chicago.
Vampires in Chicago, yeah. So if there's vampires in Chicago, does that mean the werewolves are in St. Louis?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, because isn't there there's like a correlation, like werewolves serve vampires or werewolves fight vampires or hunt them or something like that? I forget. It's been so many films on that.
Yeah, it's weird, but I guess people believe. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to convince that lady. I mean, she was convinced. I mean, she was in the car with 4 vampires.
Right. So, what is the one horror film that scared the hell out of you?
Probably I would say that It movie, just because of the clown.
The original or the remake?
Original. I didn't see the second. Like, didn't they do 2 for the?
Yeah, they did too, and they're talking about doing like a series or something.
Oh no, I just
Yeah.
can't with clowns. There's just something. I know growing up they used to be fun and everything like that, but you know, especially when you see John Wayne Gacy's paintings up close and personal, it's just woof.
Yeah.
They're not fun.
I think for me, the one film that terrified me the most was, I want to say it was Hereditary. That film, it's just something about it that scared the fuck. I had a nightmare on that film, and I hadn't had nightmares in years.
Ow.
Yeah. It's just something about that film with that daughter, the daughter character. You're just like, ugh. Smile, put some makeup on, blink something here. Come on. No, nothing at all. You're like, what is her deal?
And then I will say the Unsolved Mysteries theme song still creeps me out. I don't know. It creeps me out, the Unsolved Mystery. It creeps me out.
I loved Unsolved Mysteries growing up. I mean, we both grew up in the 80s. We both watched that. You didn't care about the serial killer. You didn't care about the person who disappeared. You waited till they got to the paranormal shit. You waited till they talked about the big spaceship over the town, the haunted museum, the lake monster, or Bigfoot. You wait. That's all you cared about.
Yeah.
And hey, that show was awesome.
I think they are still doing it on Netflix.
Yeah, they were just in Quincy.
Oh wow.
I think like a couple of years ago doing an episode.
I don't think it's that same guy because that guy was older.
No, that's Robert Stack. He passed away like in early 2000s.
Aww.
Yeah, so it's mostly just, I mean, it's on Netflix. They brought it back, but it's not really narrated. It's people being interviewed and them discussing the events. So
yeah, and I really liked America's Most Wanted too.
Yeah, America's Most Wanted was pretty good. Yeah, that was big in the 90s.
I love John Walsh, and I know his son. He's got like a spinoff and still does, but there's just something about, like how much, that they were able to like help people with that show.
Yeah,
you didn't know anybody that you saw on it.
The thing is like with Homeland Security and the FBI and CIA and all that stuff, they are much more advanced in this day and age than they were back in the 90s. Because don't get me wrong, America's Most Wanted did catch a lot of people. They did solve a lot of criminal cases. But the thing is like you got surveillance footage, you got facial recognition software. People talk about, I don't want to be tracked by the government, but I'm going to keep my cell phone on me. That's how you can be tracked.
Yeah.
So
unless you're going to live off the grid and just like not have anything, but I don't know how that's going to be possible to just completely. I'm not going to give up my creature comforts. I'm just not giving that up.
I know if I tried to give up my lifestyle and lived off the grid, my fiance would be like, no. I want my books. I want my blanket, my hot chocolate. No, my TV. Okay.
It's okay to be bougie.
Yeah, she's all bougie. She wants to be bougie.
She sounds awesome then.
Oh, you two probably get along then. She does a lot of reading though. I know that much. A lot of book reading.
Does she like Taylor Swift?
I don't know. I know she likes a lot of like the classic 90s and 80s music, but I'm not sure about Taylor Swift.
Well, might have to turn her into a Swiftie.
You're gonna convert her to a Swiftie?
Yep, just come join the Swifties.
Join the Swifties cult.
No, the Swifties are great though. They really support the podcast and everything like that, and they're always sending me stuff and stuff to take to the concert. I've met a lot of them through social media. We actually had a male Swiftie on the podcast too. He's got a big TikTok following, and he's awesome. And he actually lives in Champaign. I'm like, you're so close to me and
Really?
Lex. Yeah, yeah. He's like, he goes hard for Taylor. I love it.
I love it how, like, I've never known, like, the 90s you had, like, the big boy band push.
Yeah.
The 2000s, it was, like, hit or miss, one hit wonders.
Mhm.
I have never known a period in time where you had a literal music group have a following that's nickname is the Swifties.
Swifties, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. And I don't understand why. I get some people don't get me wrong. I got nothing against Taylor Swift, and I get why some people love her music. I get why some people are like, "Oh, Taylor Swift." But then you had people who were like getting all mad because she's dating the one guy from the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm like, I don't care. I'm here to watch football. Okay, they showed Taylor Swift. She's supporting her boyfriend. Obviously, she's probably working on the next breakup album.
I don't know, man. I think this with Travis, I think this is it.
You think this is it?
Well, he's not her normal type, and she's normally not public as she is. And I mean, at first I didn't really like him, but now I love Travis. I just feel bad that he gets so much hate. Like, everybody's always saying, oh, he's drunk all the time, he's partying, and that he's going to get her to start drinking. I'm like, no, he's just at her concert having fun. I mean, he enjoys going, and like, I don't think he's drunk, and who cares? He works hard. I mean, let him just enjoy his life and just leave him alone.
Do you have a boyfriend or a husband, or?
I am single.
Oh, you're single. I was going to ask. I'm sorry. I was going to ask, like, how does your husband or boyfriend feel about Taylor Swift?
Most of the time, the guys are not really big fans of Taylor Swift. Like,
yeah.
So her latest album that came out, it was really nice. I got to go with Lex, and we got to sit and listen to it. I'm like, this is the first time I've had a record of hers come out where I didn't have a man in my ear saying, oh my God, why are you getting excited? Why are you taking the day off? Why are you going to sit there and listen to it? Like, it's like a whole lifestyle, bro. I don't know.
So yeah, I can't knock it. I'm not going to knock anybody for taking a day off from an album. I took days off for video games, movies, all that stuff. That men do it too.
Yeah, yeah.
We got guys at work to take whole weeks off for deer hunting, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't really hunt. I fish. Good luck getting up at 3 a.m. Well, I got to get up in 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, my coworkers are pretty much like, they're used to it. They're like, okay, so what's the countdown to like when you go see her? And we're really excited. But I mean, there are a lot of guys that are starting to support their wives and girlfriends and stuff. Actually, I've noticed a lot of male Swifties on TikTok just like listening to the music, and they're like, oh man, I'm really into this. And it's like, aw.
The Swifties. So what is the countdown? You have tickets to go see her coming up.
Yeah, it's like 2 months and like 17 days.
So you're going in October. It sounds like it's going to be October, close to Halloween.
Yeah, November 3rd. We're the last of the U.S. Leg of the tour, so hopefully nothing crazy like what she experienced in Vienna. So
yeah, that's bizarre what happened there. What? So she got a death threat or somebody was trying to go after her, right?
There was like a bomb threat. And see, the thing is, there's so many Swifties that hang out outside the stadium because it's really hard to get tickets. And like my ticket right now, if I sold my ticket right now, I could get like almost $5,000 for one ticket that I paid like $250 for.
Profit.
It's insane. So a lot of Swifties went over to like London and Paris because it was cheaper to fly there and stay and than it was here, because Ticketmaster just, unfortunately, the scammers get in there and everything. So
yeah, that's just bizarre. It's just so bizarre. It was what she received a bomb threat. I can't remember the last time a band received a big threat like that, or a singer.
Yeah, I'm not. Ariana Grande had that at was it Manchester?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, how on earth? They're having a concert. Blowing up a concert is not going to get your message across. No, it's going to show you're an asshole and you're going to get hunted down as an asshole. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm excited just to be around that many Swifties and I've never seen her live, because I didn't really know a lot of people that liked her, and then I found Lex, and I was like, oh my god, we're both equally obsessed with her. So,
So now, where is she going to be in concert at in November?
we're going to Indianapolis.
Oh, you guys are going all the way to Indianapolis.
Yeah, so maybe I'll find a Swiftie there.
Here's the big catcher. What are you going to do? Are you going to try and go up to Taylor Swift and be like, be on my podcast? And what if she says yes?
So a couple of my followers have sent our link to Taylor Nation, Taylor, and Travis Kelce and his podcast.
Oh, so maybe.
Hey, I take Travis. Okay, like I will formally apologize to that man and tell him I'm sorry that I did not like him. I would love to have Travis, Jason's wife, Taylor, any of them.
Wow. So what about, okay, so that's the last concert they're having right there. That's right before, the apocalypse on the 5th. What other big musicians are you a fan of?
I like Sabrina Carpenter. I like country music. I like older music like Beatles. Pretty much anything pop. Love Eminem. Love his new record. I'd love to go see him in concert.
Ooh, what was that I saw the other day? Because everybody's been about the whole Kendrick Lamar and what's his name?
Drake.
Drake having the rap battles recently. Somebody said they wanted Jay-Z and Eminem to have the next rap beef. I'm like, no.
Jay-Z's already had one.
Yeah, no. Eminem will kill. Eminem bashed. You remember back when Machine Gun Kelly put out that diss track about?
Yes. Yes. M doesn't care.
No. And everybody was like, oh, Machine Gun Kelly, he just burned Eminem. He's done. I'm sitting there thinking, no, you wait. You wait. And he literally came out with Kill Shot and it burned Machine Gun Kelly so badly he swapped genres.
Yes. Yeah. I love Eminem. He's, and I can't believe he's like 51. He doesn't even look 51.
I know.
He looks like he's our age. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Dude, the thing that freaks me out is when I go on TikTok and I see some of these younger kids like, I'm telling all my Gen Zers to help me cancel Eminem. And I'm like, good luck.
Yeah, they tried. They tried
so many times. Everyone's tried. He's like Godzilla. You just can't keep him down. Just piss him off. That's all it does.
So where do you land on the Drake and Lamar? Who do you side with?
Oh, I gotta go Lamar, 100%. Drake, fuck that whole thing up with the whole. What was that last diss track, where he said, he put that news out there that he liked kids, and it was fake news, and everybody was like, "Why did you put that out there? That's a horrible thing to put out there." No, but Kendrick burned Drake.
I'm waiting for. He was supposed to be dropping his record. I know he was waiting for Taylor because both Drake and Lamar wait till Taylor drops her stuff. But Eminem knocked her out, I think, after like 13 weeks. So
yeah, I think she did.
Many have tried, all have failed.
That's pretty much. Adam is not wrong. Many have tried to cancel Eminem, all have failed. No, I gotta go with Kendrick. What about you?
I like Drake, but Lamar is just different. Like, he's more like, I would say, the Taylor Swift of rap. He's more like lyrical, I guess.
Yeah.
Where Drake is more poppy. Of course, I liked Drake when he was on Degrassi. That was kind of like my favorite Drake. But I don't know, because Drake had the last song and kind of made some allegations. I'm kind of surprised there haven't been any lawsuits, to be honest. The way they were going back and forth.
I'm surprised they haven't hunted each other down and just drug out into the streets and go at it. Because they're not holding back. And Kendrick for a while was like, slowly stepping in. And then when Drake dropped like the third diss track, Kendrick is like, all right, I'm all in. I'm coming after this. This is done. And he scorched earth for like the rest of the whole time this has been going on.
Well, one of Taylor's writers actually helped Lamar with one of them. So Jack Antonoff.
So does that mean that Kendrick could technically be a Swiftie?
He was on a Taylor Swift song, "Bad Blood," with I know Drake likes to give him a hard time and said, "Oh, you need to drop a verse for the Swifties." But yeah, the Swifties, they like Lamar. I think they're going to probably lean more towards Lamar just because he was on that record with her. So,
wow, I can't believe that. This is turning.
It's like a different thing every week, I swear, with everything in this world.
It is. Oh my God, I am done with this year already, dude.
Oh yeah, same.
I cannot believe we got this. I know you don't want to talk politics, but this has been a historic year for it. We've had a presidential conviction. We've had, which all it did was set him on fire and he jumped up. We had a president get shot at, which I didn't think we'd ever see that. And I figured that's where we draw the line. That's where this has got to stop. This whole left versus right. I'm moderate. I think they both suck.
It's just so divided right now. It's just
right.
It's and then the cat lady thing and like cat ladies now. Okay.
What's the deal with the cat ladies?
JD Vance had made a comment about cat ladies being miserable. So Tim Walz had said something about like, oh, now they went after cat people. Don't go after cat people. Wait till cat people see this.
Are we literally trying to make pet owners go and take a stand? I don't know about cat ladies. I'm dating one up there, but I know the cat boyfriend is miserable and wants to kill a cat. I know that much.
Hey, my co-host is a cat lady, so
that's fine.
Childless cat lady. Sorry, it was childless cat ladies are miserable.
Childish cat ladies.
Childless cat ladies.
Are we literally getting to the point? So what are they going to start bringing in the Pepsi and Coke drinkers next? The people who played Sega and the people who played Nintendo back in the 80s? Is that what's going to be drawn into the Civil War?
I don't know.
It is so stupid. I don't. Like I said, I hate both of them. And I think the Democrats really fucked up because they should have got Tulsi Gabbard to come back and instead of going for Kamala. But I like I said, I can't stand neither of them. I can't stand either of them. I don't even like our own governor. I just live my day just whatever. What are y'all bitch about now?
Well, that's what's nice about running a podcast. You get to kind of like get out of it for like, and then people get to listen like for an hour and a half. They don't have to think about politics. They don't have to think about bills or kids or any of that. That's what I like is people can just tune into something and be like, okay, now I can just focus on her and like what she's telling us. And if they learn, if they laugh, sometimes they laugh at stuff because I don't pronounce stuff right sometimes. So, but yeah, I mean, we need a break, it's a lot for people. It's upsetting to people. I mean, something's always happening. It's, what side you lean on. I'm not going to really say how I feel on that, but I just wish we could, have
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, I guess apparently not.
Yeah. The reason I do the show is because obviously times are tough for people. Very tough. It's my mother says we're all in survival mode. And I agree with that. It's years ago before the pandemic, people were spending money left and right. Now everybody's losing money left and right. People go through a lot of like depression, anxiety, and fear and all that stuff. They can't even go on Facebook and post, whatever without somebody arguing about it. And the reason we do the comedy shows is because if I can bring one laugh, one smile to a listener who's maybe had a horrible freaking day, then my job's done.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they definitely, there's people we don't even realize what people are going through that listen to us and everything. And if we can just bring a smile or just make them chuckle, or maybe they like, hey, I want to watch this documentary or something. It's that's one reason why I really like doing it. And I honestly think it's good for our mental health to be doing this. I know people think it's kind of wild to be out here in the public like that, but it actually helps my anxiety, and I just really like it. And I could do it every day if I could.
I couldn't do it every day because I need new material. Plus, I'm not dressing up like Donald Trump again for a long ass time. And people ask me, who am I dressed up as, Kamala or Biden? I'm like, no, neither. I'm not stepping on that. No. So in regards to your podcast, where do you see your show in the next few years?
Obviously, I'd like to have more followers and listeners. We're at like 101 followers, 966 listens. I'd like us to grow more. I don't know about the money factor, see, because I'm kind of torn on that. Because once you start getting the ads and sponsors, you have to be really careful what you say. And then, you're dependent on that money. And I don't want to sit there and just post 5 or 6 ads on a podcast and just plug stuff just to plug stuff. Like, I want us to always be authentic and real. Like, we don't edit. We just, so I just see it just growing, and if we get to make a little bit of money, sure, that's fine. But if not, it's something I started as a hobby. It's nothing that I started like, oh yeah, I'm going to like get famous now. I don't even know if I'd want to be famous for that, but yeah, I mean, probably the same as you. You probably just wanted to keep growing. And
yeah, I wanted to keep growing, and if I was to get sponsors, I don't think I'd do like nationwide sponsors. I'd want like local Illinois sponsors. People I can drive to see, not have a phone call. And I would like the show to keep growing, but like, I don't really want to go nationwide. I don't want to be the next Joe Rogan or the next Howard Stern. I just want to be or Alice Cooper. Yeah, Alice Cooper's podcast is pretty good, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I just
want our show to be the best it can be in Central Illinois. And some people are like, well, why do you call it the best damn podcast? That's an insult. Like, no, that's just what we came up with.
I actually think it's a good name.
We're actually a bunch of idiots who sit around and bullshit about topics.
I think that's fun. So let's put that into the universe that we'll get some local people, because I honestly, like the one guy I had on the Fired Up Jellies and Jams, I actually tried his stuff and I kind of like know him kind of, but his stuff is like phenomenal. And, I would definitely take local people versus like, when you have like, I don't know, like Capital One or I can't even think what they all plug, but it just seems like you listen to a podcast anymore and there's like 5 or 6 commercials on there for stuff. And it's like, do they really like the products? And then it's like, if you make them mad, you can lose everything. And it's just, it's a tough, and we like to have control over it. Like what we do the research, we control it. I don't know how I feel about someone coming in and saying, okay, this is what you got to cover. This is how you got to be.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be, if we were to get a sponsor too, it had to be someone that's like, okay, you just keep doing your thing. You're doing good. Don't say anything uber offensive, because if they come in, they're like, oh, make sure you say something good about this or that. Like, no, we're not changing our formula for this. So, okay, so I have a question for you. And I'm going to be asking this, as you are the first podcast that we've interviewed. We're going to ask everybody we get to interview this. You know about the Illinois Times Best Podcast Awards. By the way, good luck to you. I'm going to say that. Good luck. May the best podcast win.
Same to you.
We at the Best Damn Podcasts are holding our own competition. So how this is going to work is we do a lot. I'm not in the wrestling, but 3/4 of the cast are wrestling aficionados, either locally or they're into it. I just sit there. This is what I do when they talk wrestling. I'm just like, I'm out of the conversation. I can't say nothing. Now, you want to talk UFC or baseball? Oh, hell yes. But we're doing a competition because we have three of the founders of a local charity that's also up for Charity of the Year called Wrestling for a Cure.
Okay.
Now, what we're doing is we're getting a link set up. It is for people who want to participate in this. We're going to, whatever podcast says yes, we'll put them in a competition, and they'll have their own private link that their listeners can donate to
Okay.
help them raise money. And whichever podcast by like July, I think that's the one real high want to go with. July, whichever podcast by July has raised the most money, not only will they win, they'll get like a custom made wrestling title belt with their podcast's logo and the year they won it, and that's theirs.
Oh, that's cool.
So what I'm asking is, because I know you guys have only been on the air for like what, almost a year, give or take?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm asking is, would you guys like to possibly be included in this competition?
Yeah.
It wouldn't cost you guys a dime. All it is here is a link, and it would be like Notorious Escapades, Casey Ray and Lex are standing up against cancer. Donate here, and then whoever wins. I don't think we're going to count us because we're the ones holding the contest, and I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
But whoever wins at the end of the year by July would get bragging rights and their own little title belt saying we raised this money for cancer.
Yeah, because we did an episode on breast cancer, and we had a lady that works for the Cancer Society, and we're planning on doing like lung cancer and like other like series. So that's perfect.
Right. And then this is for St. Jude's. All the money that's donated to this link goes directly to St. Jude's. Nobody gets a dime from it. And let me tell you, if you go back and look at the library that we've done on the Best Damn Podcast, I've put my body through hell. It was March, I had a full, now I'm not saying you have to do this, but back in March, I had a full beard. And we waxed it off.
Well, I can't
$10 a wax. Well, yeah, I know you can't grow a beard. But I mean, it's something, it's a way for people to hopefully raise more money for St. Jude's and get the money out there. Because I think everybody knows somebody or has known somebody who's dealt with cancer. I've lost multiple people with cancer, and I'm pretty sure it's in my future because sadly I smoke. But it's a fun little thing we want to do with all the podcasts that we're currently either interviewing or getting going. So if you would like, I think the contest is going to start in November. That's when we'll get the link set up. So if you and Lex on Notorious Escapades would like to try and make a shot for the title, you are very much welcome to.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll do it.
There we go. We got our first participant in the Battle of the Podcast competition. And hopefully we get more.
Yes, I think you'll get more.
If not, I think you're just going to get that title. All right. So, well, I've got nothing else to talk about, Casey. What about you?
No, I'm good. This was fun. I was really nervous.
Oh, you did just fine.
Maybe.
You did just fine.
Okay. No, it was fun though. I mean, I'll come on whenever. This is a lot of fun.
I'd love to have you. We'd love to have you back. Like I said, we're trying to get to know everybody. We're trying to get to know, all the local podcasts. And hang on, I can get some links up here for you.
Gosh, I can't believe there's that many. At least I think I'm the only one in New Berlin, I think, though.
But I'm in Jacksonville, so I think I'm the only one. There's a lot in Springfield.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wish everybody luck. I mean, whoever gets it, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So, well, if you guys would like to subscribe, I can't find your Spotify link, unfortunately, but I think it's all on your Facebook page.
Yeah, so we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, just Notorious Escapades, and of course the Facebook too, which is actually doing better than I thought. We have a lot of interactions, but yep, that would be awesome if people gave us a follow and a listen. And just keep in mind, we're rough around the edges. We don't edit. We're just ourselves, so.
And that's their Facebook page right there for you to follow them on Facebook. And here is their Spotify link to their Spotify. And I'm looking through their catalog. They talked about Manson lately. They talked about cheating ghosts in relationships.
Yep. That was a follower request. So we try to, you know what they asked for.
And of course, there's one like here. It's all about Taylor, July 6th.
Yep.
See, just eats in Central Illinois, healing with B. I would like to talk to this lady, B.
Oh, Bethany's awesome. Yeah, hit her up. She's awesome.
Because I'm trying to get, like I said, we're trying to start more interviews with other people, local politicians and stuff like that. I would like to get her on. Maybe she sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a long catalog here. The Tylenol murders, I've heard of that one, and it goes all the way back to almost a year. So November 12th will be your anniversary. So congratulations, early congratulations. You're going to a Taylor Swift concert for your show's anniversary.
Yeah, I know. It's I don't know. I can't believe we're here. We've done so many episodes, but
all right. Well, I got nothing else to talk about. That's so you can check out Casey Ray. Make sure you vote for her. She's on the nomination list for the Illinois Times Best Podcast. Now, this is the nomination voting. Okay, there'll be 2 votes. There'll be to get on the nomination list and then the actual winner. This is to get on the nomination list. So if you like Casey, you like what her and her co-host Lex have done, obviously vote for her. If not, you can vote for us. It doesn't matter. We're just trying to all be friendly and get along. So
yeah, and we can all collab and stuff, and I think that's great,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind coming on your show one day as a guest. I wouldn't mind that at all.
You are totally welcome to come on.
Well, whatever you want me, I'll just shoot me an invite or shoot me a message. We'll work it out. So,
okay.
All right, guys, it is the Notorious Escapades podcast hosted by Casey Ray and Lex. Definitely go check it out. It's on Spotify and it's on Facebook as well. Definitely a good listen to for the local Jacksonville, Springfield area. Casey Ray, thank you so much. Good luck to you. And if I don't speak to you now and then, enjoy your Taylor Swift concert.
Okay, thank you.
That's it for us, guys. Weird Frequencies will be coming up here at about 8, 9 o'clock, and then we'll be back with another episode of the Best Damn Podcast. Casey, what's your next episode of Notorious Escapades?
We're going to drop it today. We covered Britney Spears, so.
Oh, I'm going to cover let Britney alone. And then, of course, we're going to be sending her a link to this show, the audio file, so she can put this on her podcast or use this as she wants. So you never know. This might be another episode of Notorious Escapades itself. So, all right, we're out of here. Casey, you have a good day. Thank you very much for being on the show. And everybody, make sure you drop Casey some love, subscribe to her show, and we'll see you all next time. So long, everybody.
Bye.